Do not let your kids do MMA if there's any kind of head contact, either in training or in competition. Here's 3 reasons why that's true, and the third is the most important. Number 1, all impact to the head causes brain damage. All impact to the head causes brain damage. We see it in football, we see it in boxing, we see it in kickboxing, we see it in MMA, but we also see it in sports where you don't often have concussions, where you don't often have people knocked out. In soccer players who head the ball more often have demonstrable signs of brain damage. They have demonstrable signs of not being able to remember stuff, impaired memory, even at a young age. All head contact causes trauma, and obviously the big shots cause more trauma, and the repeated small shots, even from sparring, create a lot of trauma. There's the research to back all this up. Number 2, brain damage is forever. Brain damage is forever. Imagine if I gave you the iPhone 16 Pro Max Plus. It's the best phone that anybody on the planet has. But the catch is, you're going to have to hold on to that phone for the rest of your life. It's the only phone you're going to have till you die. How careful would you be with that phone? Would you be tossing it in the air? Would you leave it on the table? No, you'd have it in a case, and then you'd have it in another case, and you have that inside a Pelican case, and that'd be chained to your wrist, because you wouldn't want to be without a phone. Well, your brain's like 1 billion times more complicated and 1 billion times more delicate than that iPhone. So you have to take care of it. There's not really, there's some neuroplasticity stuff going on, but really brain damage is forever and CTE is forever. It's very, very, very rare for people to get over that. Number 3, most important, is that kids and young teens can't give meaningful consent. If you're an adult and you really want to go and fight MMA and train MMA and just bang in there in the cage and beat your training partner into pulp, awesome. I totally support your right to take risks. I'm totally in support of that, because it's an informed decision. You've watched this video, you've paid attention to the news, you've watched football players, you've watched boxers go from being articulate early in their career to basically drooling in their coffee late in their career. You might have a pretty good idea what the risks are. A kid, a teenager, cannot meaningfully consent to this. I mean, a 16, 17, 18-year-old teenager full of hormones, he only cares about a couple of things, and being able to, drive a car, being able to read a sentence, being able to not drool in his meal when he's 40, that's the last thing he's thinking about. So I don't think that teenagers can give meaningful consent, especially for consequences that are A, forever, and B, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. So if you're a parent, you're pushing your kid to compete, that's you. That's your ego. You want to be able to say, I've got a really tough kid. He just won, I don't know, King of the Cage, or he just won, he's being considered for the UFC. Great. Let him grow up. Let him make that informed decision. Up until that point, there's a whole lot of training that he can do or she can do that doesn't involve brain damage. You can wrestle. You can do jiu-jitsu. There's ways to train striking where you're not getting hit in the head. That's ethical, but having kids slugging it out and you're having your boy beating the crap out of other young boys, that's just stupid. It's unethical, and it's really not fair to the kids.